Going to introduce myself. So my name is Leonor Silva de Mattos, and I am an academic in the UK. But my academic expertise is actually in distance learning, coincidentally. Um, I am also a wildlife rehabilitator, and I have an expertise in corvids. They really interest me. They are the kind of birds that have shaped a lot of myself, really. They've changed my life in many ways, and uh, the way of giving back to them was to certify myself as a wildlife rehabilitator and start to help them. Um, but there's another side to me as well. If you have TikTok, you can find me on the Corvid Corner, where I advocate for these birds. These birds in the UK, corvids in general, they do not have a good reputation. People don't really like them. Um, there's other people that love them. So they kind of bring the best, but also the worst in people. And yeah, I find them fascinating. So when people ask me about why crows, I didn't choose the crows at all. They chose me, as I like to say it. It all started a little bit before the pandemic. I was not well. I was not in a good place, and I was advised to go for walks. And that's exactly what I've done. And in those walks, I've kind of befriended a couple of crows, and then from there, I kind of uh, I kind of yeah went from too many, as you can see in the picture. As I said, they are very loved, but also very hated. But the truth is that they are never ignored. And what that means is that people can't really ignore these birds. They are everywhere. They are in the countryside, they are in the urban areas. Um, and whether people like them or not, the truth is that you can't really go past them without acknowledging them. They exist. They are loud. They are many a lot of the time, especially if we're talking about crows. And they are smart. They are extremely smart. There's lots and lots of research that has highlighted how intelligent these birds are as well. Uh, they live in very close family groups, but they have also very complex communities. And basically, as I said, they thrive in wild but also urban worlds. So you will see them in pretty much any context. And they are spread across the world. They might look different in some parts of the world, but they are still corvids, and they still have very much the same common traits. A lot of crows in particular, I find they do mirror a lot of our human behavior for the good and for the bad. And basically, they can mirror us. And I think that's probably why people don't really like them or like them a lot. So they are extremely opportunistic. They are birds that will take advantage of any opportunity. If it's easy, they are there. They will get what they need. They are extremely family oriented as well. They will defend their nests with death if needed. They are very focused in, affinity with the partnerships that they form. They do put in the work as well to make sure that those partnerships are long lasting. And as I said, they are very socially complex. So within their own families, they belong into groups and societies that are extremely interesting to watch. And they all have, I find, their own individual personalities. And as you get to know individual crows, you get to see that. You get to see the quirks, you get to see the funny ones, you get to see the silly ones, but also the bold ones, the ones that are extremely aggressive. So there's a variety of different personalities within those groups, which could be or not related to the hierarchies that they have within those groups as well. But generally speaking, they are as diverse as we are, and that's definitely how I see them. Now, I befriended a local murder um, in Hertfordshire in the UK, and I've been watching them. I've watched them for over 4 years now, nonstop. And essentially, my journey began, as I said, pre-pandemic. I went for walks. I started to, get to know a couple of them. And then eventually I got to know the group that would hang in the park, which is a large group. A lot of the group are youngsters, but there's also established pairs who live in that park and have specific areas as well. And, the beauty of it is that with these walks and with me wanting to know more about these birds, I started to develop a relationship of trust with them. They started to recognize me, and that was extremely beneficial for me. Because I would then spend, and you can see here in the picture, I would then sit down on the grass and spend considerable amount of time in the lawn, just being there, just watching them, just looking at them, but also stopping a little bit from my crazy life, I'm a single parent, I've got children, I have a full-time job, and it's a very fast-paced job. It's a job that is very demanding. And so it's very rare that I have an opportunity to stop and enjoy what's around me. So the fact that I've befriended the crows have really made me stop for a bit and enjoy their presence. And then it was the small rituals as well that we've developed together over the years. So they would be watching when I would go down the road to go see them. Some of them would follow me between the trees, others on the ground. Some would be waiting again on the trees or in other areas as well of the park. And that really was and is, it still is, it still makes me feel quite alive. It still makes me feel quite special. So the benefits from befriending the crows for me were the fact that I felt their presence. So I didn't feel that I was alone at all. I was always with company, which made me feel extremely happy, because why not? The joy of being acknowledged and the joy of having those friendships being developed with wild birds that could be anywhere else in the world if they wished to be there, but they chose to be there with me, and that was quite nice. And then it was also the perspective that I gained just from sitting there and watching their behavior, watching them interact with one another, getting to know them. I started to know individuals. I started to, see them more often. Some calls from some individuals were quite specific, so I knew who they were. And there were some pairs as well that I could recognize from the distance just by their behavior and their looks. And you form a really deep connection with these birds that is quite unique and special. And I don't think you will be able to form. I don't know, maybe yes, but in my view, in my experience, I don't think there is any other bird able of forging this sort of relationship with us humans. And I took a little bit of a passage that I wrote in my diary, one of those years that, I was quite active sitting with them, and it says every day they were there waiting, watching. And eventually I realized that they knew me as much as I knew them. And that is quite special to have that sort of relationship with with wild animals, and particularly with birds, who are usually very well known for not, for being so quick in their feet and not really trusting humans that much. So that really, really made a huge difference in the way I see the world and the way I interact with these birds, but also with other wildlife. And made me really want to give a little bit back of the goodness that they kind of given to me. I've seen that I've got quite a few comments. I'll pick them up on the chat in a minute if that's all right. Otherwise, I'll just lose my train of thought. So So I started writing as a bit like as a reflection of all of these visits that I used to do, and I still do. And I'll explain in a minute why I keep talking in the past. And and for me, writing is quite important. I lost my dad in the beginning of this year. It's been a really tough time for me, but my dad always believed in my writing. And one of the things that really stuck with me before he died was the fact that he really wanted and encouraged me to write about my experiences with these birds. He always felt that there was something quite special about the way that I interacted with them, but also the way I worked with them, and also how, they influenced my way of seeing the world and how they actually made me connect with nature a lot more than I used to. I was always a person who was very devoted to nature, but life got in the way somehow, and I lost track of that. And I think a lot of us go through that. It's part of our crazy human lives. So so I wrote my whole life journals, small articles. I'm an academic, so I write journal articles as well, like academic articles. But but I also always written as these diaries as reflections of everything of my experiences. And writing and befriending can connect us. They really can connect us. The act of befriending the crows and then the act of writing that experience not only makes that experiences more real, but it can also turn these visits into your own personal stories, quite meaningful because each day is very different. There are no similar days when you visit the crows. There's always something going on. There's always something that you can pick up, whether it's that one that's attacked the other one, or you see them preening each other, you see a brand new pair forming. And I had the opportunity of seeing that, and it was amazing. When they court each other, it's quite sweet. Or you see them, working in their own existing relationships, or even playing. I've seen them playing with, and I actually documented that into one of my Medium posts, where they played with a ball, and I thought that was hilarious. And there's a video, so if you haven't seen that, go and check my article about the playfulness of the crows. But essentially, reflection goes as well beyond the observation. It's about putting things in writing, and it's about evidencing as well what you've seen. And you can learn a lot from that. When you're writing, you can definitely enhance your awareness of these birds. And all of these are skills for life, reflection ability, the learning of this resilience that exists between the crows, but also between us, and our lives, and the connection that forms as well with these wild animals. So I have moved from the area where I befriended the crows, and I've moved about a year and a half ago, and I had to leave them behind, which was heartbreaking. I was very, very attached to them. I still am. The good news is that I still work in the area where they live, so I still see them, but I only go there about once or twice a month. So, and it's usually fleeting. So I can't spend as much time as I used to, but I've got a plan to change that. And it's not moving there, but it's a plan that I've got, and I'm working on it with a friend. But hopefully you'll be able to know more in the future. But the fact that I've moved away from there has made my reflective ability and skill set a bit stronger, a bit not what I mean by this is that moving away has definitely made me think a lot more about what I've lived with these birds. And I have a lot of videos that I've done whilst I was visiting them, so much so that I'm quite worried my phone is not going to take any more videos because my memory is pretty full. But those videos are actually quite important because they form a pool of evidence about the behavior of this particular murder, which was quite big. Okay. In the wintertime, I could have very much close to 60 to 70 individuals, maybe more. And so when I moved away, I've started writing a lot more. And obviously, after my dad passed away recently, I've started to take this more seriously. Um, because I've moved away as well, I've focused a lot more on my rescue disabled corvids. I have, and you can see them all in the picture. I have Eris and Sirius, who are the first ones. They are rooks, and they are the first ones in the picture. I then have Icarus, who a lot of people know because he's very goofy. He's exactly like he looks. Icarus is a jackdaw, and I have two magpies. One is called Nike, and the other one is called Pi because she was my they're both male. He was my first corvid, and I was not very original with the name. But these are the birds that live with me constantly, and I spend a considerable amount of time of my day working with them, making sure that they have enough enrichment. These are extremely intelligent birds in spite of their disabilities. Um, and they need as much enrichment as possible because of their intelligence. They live, in aviaries, but they also live in the house free, all of them. They all get along fine, except Icarus, who doesn't get along with anyone and needs his own adjustments. But generally, what I mean by all of this is that the fact that I was away from the crows means that I now have a lot more time as well to focus on these birds who need me and who can live up to 20 years in captivity, sometimes more. So it is a long-term commitment that I've basically committed to. And I write now not just about the birds that I look after here, but also about the videos and the experiences that I had with the murder of crows in Hertfordshire. So as I said, the absence has not, however, affect the connection that I have with the big murder. And I do see them every month, and every time I see them, it feels like it's the first time. It's quite special. So the bridge between the crows and the world and the natural world is quite a big one because, as I said, they can live in urban areas, and you have very good examples there. These are part of my murder, by the way. And on the first picture, this was one of my visits, and you can see there's quite a few of there. Um, I was on my way to the university and I stopped to go and see them. And as soon as they spotted my car, there they were. And then the other picture was taken when I was walking to the shops. And yes, they were all on the rooftop. I could only show three, but there were a lot more. And so what I mean by the bridge is that crows, because they live in urban areas, they are the perfect reason to connect us to the wild. Okay. And the shore did that with me. They connect people and birds. And it's true, because since I've befriended the crows, I now pay a lot more attention to the other birds around me, the little ones and the big ones. And I actually have a gull, which is a gull or a seagull, but it's a gull, who comes and comes here every day. He's been here today as well. His name is Cersei, and I wouldn't have these relationships if I hadn't this initial interaction with the crows first. They're also the bridge between my memory and the place where they are. And this could work for you as well. So if you befriend the crows over time, you develop all of these memories that you can always retrieve. And if you are in a bad place, those memories will connect you. They will be the bridge to that good place. And that is so special. So writing also enhances all of that because you can then make it more present in a way. And then they are also the bridge between humans and the wild. They did drag me into the park. Okay. I used to sit in the park for, I would say, about an hour, sometimes more if I had that time. And that was quite special. So crows, birds, people in nature, that's how it works. And by writing that, and by my writing, I'm hoping to inspire others to do exactly the same as I did, because it really shaped my life. It changed my life for the better. And that's all I want for everyone and for the world as well. Right. So that's me. Uh, I hope I hope I wasn't too boring. Let me just see me. Let me just see some of the questions or some of the feedback. Thank you, everyone. Okay. So just going to scroll up. Oh, hello, everyone. I've missed that. Amazing. So in-shell peanuts are perfect, okay? Because they will love them. They will love to crack the peanuts as well. They will love to, hide them. And also, if they are in the shell, that also means that they can store for longer without going bad, which is perfect. That's exactly what you want. Um, so when they disappear, sometimes it's related to a lot of things. Like, for example, you have it could be migration, it could be nesting, it could be that there's no resource available, it could be a predator in the area. A lot of the times, I would say 99% of the times, they will go back. So if there is a change in a routine that's established and they disappear, they tend to go back after a while. So just be patient, keep doing what you're doing, keep offering your goodies to them, and you will find that they will definitely come back. And there's someone here. Deb has a crow that follows. Oh, that's amazing. It feels so great when they do that. I don't think there's anything that can compare to a crow choosing to follow us. It's quite special. It shows that they trust you. It shows that, they are happy to approach you. Sometimes they do that with other people that are not so approachable, and they learn the lesson very quickly. So if they approached you, it's because they know that you are definitely a good person, and they can see beyond, you know, beyond what we show as well. I find they are very good at judging character. They are really fantastic. And Yvette's saying crows are amazing birds. Absolutely. I have to agree. Um, Powerful message carriers, according to Native American traditions. That's interesting. That's really, really interesting. It is thought that an eagle brings a message and the crow conveys it. I have to look into this. I love to know these things. So this looks exactly what a crow's function is, to be honest. It really mirrors what they do. So it's amazing. I love all animals, with the possible exceptions of the ants that occasionally, well, yes, but they all need it. They're definitely all needed, but I sympathize. I grew up in an environment with a lot of ants myself when I was growing up, so I know how they can sometimes be a bit annoying, but they're all needed at the end of the day. Hi, Antoinette from Toronto. Um, Lovely. You're a member of the Crow clan. Amazing. Oh, that's quite a nice legacy and heritage to have. So well done. That's so nice. And oh, thank you, everyone. And sorry, I'm just going through the questions. If you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. Um, we still have about 5 minutes, so I'm more than happy to talk about your experiences, share them, absolutely. Karen Isabel. Thank you. I would love to write. I'm always happy to co-write things. Absolutely. I do write about my experience at work and how the crows have also shaped the way I do leadership, for example. And that's fantastic. I will check your link for sure. Thank you for sharing that. I'm trying to catch up. There's lots of messages. That's great. I love that. Let me just scroll down. This is not the best. My computer is not the best. Um, right. I think I skipped someone. Hold on. Oh, thank you. Uh, so sorry, my scroll button is not very friendly. So that's Deb. Deb said that she was in Utah camping. A crow brought shiny glass stones and dropped them in our campsite. Wow, 20 of them and talked to us. That is so special. We left food. Good, good. That's what we want. And they left rocks. That's, how they give back. That's amazing. What an amazing experience. So over 4 years, I was rewarded with quite a few gifts myself. Not as many as you. Um, so I got an apple thrown at my feet by two youngsters. Missed my head for a little bit. I keep talking about it because it was hilarious, and a lot of people didn't believe me when I told them. But yeah, that was quite funny. I found, a cork. I found as well a little coin. There was also the top of a bottle. So I have them all with me. I've not I've kept them all in a box because they are so precious. Yes, packs. Yeah, I get that. About the ants. Absolutely. I know that. Did I feed them? Initially, yes, not all the time towards the end, and still today. Now, obviously, when I go, I do bring some peanuts with me. But when you say feed them, I didn't feed them a lot of food at all. I used to bring with me like a handful of cat kibble, soaked in water, by the way, because the hard stuff is not always good for them, especially if we're talking about the summer. The more hydration they get, the better. And peanuts in the shell, and a handful again. And in the wintertime, suet, which is like a greasy, fatty thing for them. Now, I, as I said, a handful of it. And even if the murder was huge, that the quantities would never change, and I've never changed them. I'm very conscious that we are running out of time. Um, Blue jays are corvids, so whatever applies to crows pretty much applies to blue jays as well. In fact, there is a research about, I'm not sure if it was the blue jays, but there's definitely research about jays able to identify the weight of peanuts on average and choosing the heaviest ones. Impressive. Um, thank you so much, Yvette. Thank you, everyone. Blue jays are brilliant. I don't have them here, so I'm very jealous. Thank you, everyone. I think we are now on time, so I am going to end the session. Follow me and follow me on Medium, follow my writing, and I hope to speak to you very soon. Thank you.